explorers, welcome to ARTlapse, a series where I share a time lapse of my art and we talk all about creativity because the artist behind the art is even more important than the art itself. So today I felt like it'd be a wonderful topic to talk about starting a new project, because a lot of us can feel challenged by the obstacles that we faced and get lost in all those tiny little details, right? When we embark on a brand new project and inspiration. So how can we fully honor that inspiration and follow that call to complete a new project? Step number 1, allow space for dreaming. So you daydreamers out there, you need to flex those dreaming muscles. And what is your dream project of your wildest imagination? Like, what is it that you want to create and what are you being called to? Because if you don't know the dream, the wish, the vision, how can you even know what it is you want to create and create with intention? So that is the first step to the entire journey. Step number 2, play with an idea, massage it, write it out, make crude sketches, get a feel for it. We're just trying to flesh out the vision of what this project that's calling to us. What does it look like? We're just exploring it right now and having fun. Step number 3, follow what excites you. Your passion is the gas in your tank. So follow what lights you up, because that's going to fuel your entire journey and get you to that finish line. Because the whole point is enjoying the act of creating. That's why we're artists after all, because we love to make art and create things. So we really need to start to tune into that inner child energy and chase the things that excite us. Step number 4, identify your why. Your why is going to be your guiding star through your most challenging times during this journey. So it's very important to get clear on why you are creating this project in the first place. Why is it important to you? This will be the drive to complete your project, because this is the value it offers you as the creator. Step number 5, now's the time to define your project. What is the finished product? What does it look like? How will you know when it is complete? How will you know when you've attained this goal? What is the goal and when is it due by? These are the things that we can start to define to gain even more clarity on the vision of the project that we are making manifest. Step number 6, now's the time to develop a plan. Create a checklist, a breakdown of all the materials required. Plot out a schedule. We're really breaking things down step by step here so that we can make them into manageable little chunks and use that to sort of sprinkle over our schedule, because we are not rushing, we are relishing, we are enjoying this process, we are enjoying this journey and this unfoldment, because we are creators and we love to create. So that's why it's important to provide plenty of space through planning so that you can really take your time and it can be easy. Step number 7, assess your excitement. Does it match the level of commitment necessary? If you decide yes, you've already begun, so keep going. Now, if you don't really have the wherewithal or the desire or the excitement or the drive to complete like a 200-page graphic novel, that's fair. No one is tying you to that project. Just because you dreamed an idea and you're no longer excited about it, no one is holding a gun to your head to complete it. And it's entirely up to you. And you can grant yourself the permission to abandon projects or come back to them at a later date. You are the boss, you are the creator, you get to decide. And it's important that we be honest with ourselves in these processes, because if we just force it, it's going to be like that little bit of toothpaste stuck in the tube that we're trying to squeeze out of ourselves. That is not what this process of creating is all about. it really starts with honoring ourselves and honoring our desires. And if you just aren't excited about it, you can jump ship. You're allowed to. You're allowed to abandon things you're no longer excited about. You're allowed to move on and dream of new projects. Step number 8. Now's the time to learn a new skill. If you're doing something that you've never done before, odds are you will have to be learning something new in some way, shape, or form. Do yourself a favor and take a class or read a book which will help your project blossom. And this can even be free tutorials on YouTube or going to the library. We have a wealth of free resources out there for us that we can explore and help inspire and inform our projects. And this is really important. This is how we grow. This is how we change. This is how we evolve. And this is how we become the dream version of ourselves, completing our dream projects, is by learning the behind the scenes, how it takes to get there, integrating that, learning that, adopting that, and elevating to that level. Step number 9, create systems of accountability for yourself. So whether you are sharing with trusted peers for feedback or any other structures that will be providing mile markers on your path, like maybe you're submitting to a grant or a competition or a festival or a convention, any of these sorts of things that are going to provide you with deadlines that are sort of like these mile markers to hold you accountable, to keep you going, to get you to a time and place, which is the goal, right? A defined time and place of what we want to achieve is what makes these things real. So that's why it's very important to create these systems of accountability. Now, step number 10 is give yourself a deadline. While mile markers are important, we need that clear specified date for ourselves. Whether it's a personal deadline or a deadline for a submission, it's important there's an end in sight. It's important that there's an end goal. It's important to define when we are done with this, because you're not going to be working on this project for the rest of your life. You are going to create so many different projects, so many different artworks, and we need to be able to complete things, because the world is full of incredible, just mind-blowing artworks out there that are half completed because people don't have the wherewithal to define those deadlines and hold themselves accountable to reach it and be satisfied with good enough and let go of the idea of perfection, which is an illusion anyways that keeps us trapped. And you don't want to be one of those people. You have a valuable, worthy idea sitting in that brain of yours, just wanting to be birthed through you. It's just we need to cultivate the discipline and the accountability and the consistency to show up and to tackle these things. And I feel like a lot of us initially will face it as a race, when really and truly it's a marathon. We need to pace ourselves. We need to take breaks. We need to look at the grand picture of years, not months. Like putting a month deadline on yourself to complete a comic book, while that it can be feasible, like if it's 30 pages, that's still like a page a day. And that's still a lot of pressure and stress to just birth something so magnificent in such a short amount of time without giving any reference to the flow of life and how life is constantly happening and things are up and down, and we want to have a work-life balance. We want to live our lives and things like that. So that's why it's important to like spread this out over time. We don't want to be too little butter spread over bread. You see, like we want to be abundance and feel good about what we're creating and give ourselves the time and space and to not rush and be gentle and enjoy. And these are the structures and ideas that I've adapted into myself that have helped define and navigate to complete projects with more ease, joy, and flow. Like Magikats, The Mystery of the Moss, I created that during the pandemic, and I was in a fortunate enough space where that I could focus on that and focus on the completion of that. And I had fun, and I reconnected with so many different inspirations and joys from my childhood, and it really informed and evolved the comic to another level. And these are the things that I'm talking about, where like I feel so proud when I look at that work now. And that's what I want to pass on to you, is that when you revisit your old works, like when we're feeling bad and critical on ourselves and then we create something, you bet when you look back on that, that's the memory, the emotional memory we've transferred into our art. So that's what we're going to see when we look back on it. So that's why we want to be in that joyous space, so that we can create things we love, that when we look back on our creations, we're like, yep, that was my baby and I love that baby. So that was it for today, folks. Don't forget to hit like on this video. It really helps out the channel, and subscribe to follow the magic. Also, I would love to hear from you. Let me know of any topics you'd love to hear about on ARTlapse, any requests you may have, or just general feedback you have on these videos, because I want to curate this content to help the creative community for listeners just like you. So your feedback absolutely helps and is a blessing to me. So thank you. Thank you for watching, and stay magical. Happy creating. Bye.